Pretty much every single time I send a proposal on Upwork, it gets viewed. Of the last four proposals that I sent, all four of them were viewed. Three of them actually responded to me. And if you look at the last 100 proposals that I sent, somewhere between 70 and 80% of those people actually viewed the job post. And there's a real science to getting more views and getting more interviews on Upwork. And if you're not getting interviews and you're not getting views, it's not your fault. It's just that you probably don't understand the core three things that we're going to cover in this video. I'm going to show you exactly how I get 70 to 80% of all my proposals viewed. I'm going to show you a live example of a job that I applied to and what I wrote to them. I'm going to walk you through how we close deals like what's on the screen right here. Average ticket for us is anywhere between $600 to $3,000 per month. Clients that we work with stay with us for multiple months. So this is a great high ticket source of clients. Our best clients actually come from Upwork, and I've been able to build a whole career off of this platform just by understanding the things that I'm going to break down for you in this video. Now, if you're sending proposals, but they're not getting viewed and they're not getting interviewed, it's probably because you haven't mastered this framework right here. First of all, let me walk you through how people make hiring decisions. This is really important for you to know if you want to actually get hired, is you have to know, what does your prospect, what does the person who's hiring you actually see? When they're hiring you, they don't see your portfolio. They don't click into your profile. And I know this because I've coached hundreds of people on Upwork. They don't do that. I've seen all the data. What people really do is they look at just the thumbnail of text that Upwork shows them of what you've written in your proposal. And this is the 225 characters. So the only decision that someone has to decide if they're going to click into your proposal and actually read what you wrote is what you've typed to them in the first 225 characters. It's almost like the thumbnail of your proposal. And because of that, it's very, very important that we optimize this. When I sit down to write my proposals, that is where I spend maybe 70, 80% of my time. And by the way, all of those deals that I showed you on the screen, they're all from proposals that I've sent. These aren't from people inviting me to jobs. I'm not winning more jobs because I've got a lot of money earned to the platform or I'm top rated or anything like that. All of the deals and all of the work that I get through Upwork comes from me sending proposals. And it's because I've mastered how to send a proposal that hooks them in with the first 225 characters. Now, there's three things that needs to be in every Upwork proposal. You need to repeat back to the person the desire that they have. What is their goal? You have to show them you understand the goal. You have to show them proof that you can actually help them accomplish whatever it is they want to accomplish. And you have to show them how. You have to show them the mechanism. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a real job post that I applied to. This was a client who ended up paying me $3,300 to help them with their social media. What I do on Upwork is I make social media content for businesses. That's my whole service. I'm going to show you the actual job post, and I'm going to show you what I wrote and applied to them, and I'm going to show you how I used my 225 framework, what's on the screen right here, to actually win this deal. All right, so on the screen here, you're going to see the job that I applied to. Now, there's a couple things that I did really well to make sure that this person actually got back to me. The first thing is I applied to the job quickly. A lot of freelancers, what they do is they'll apply to jobs that were posted hours and hours or maybe even days ago. For me, my personal standard is I'm never going to apply to a job if it's been posted longer than 8 hours or 3 hours ago, excuse me. Anything older than 3 hours, what happens is people, they go to sleep, they go to work, they get distracted, they stop getting notifications in their email. When you first post a job on Upwork, it's going to send them lots of emails as new applicants come in. So the best time to actually get someone's attention and get hired is within 3 hours of someone posting the job post. And that's a non-negotiable. If you're not doing that and you start doing that, that I bet will double your scene rate. Just that, not even writing better proposals, not even focusing on 225, just responding to jobs faster will completely change your view and your interview rate. I chose to apply to this job for a couple core reasons. One is that it was recent. It was posted when I found it, maybe an hour or two ago. Two is that it was personalized. You can see in here that they wrote a little bit about themselves. They mentioned that they had been a photographer for, I think they said 13 years, something like that. They gave me a little bit of detail as to who they were. This wasn't just some AI generated job post. And this is one of the things that you have to learn how to spot, is you have to learn how to spot AI generated job posts, which is most of them. Upwork uses a lot of AI to help people write their jobs. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for personal details. I'm looking for the desire so I can mention to them in my 225 that I understand your goal. I know exactly what you're looking for. Another thing that made this prospect a great prospect was the hourly range. For my services, I'm never going to apply to anything that is below the low end of the suggested hourly range. So On Upwork for social media management services, for example, Upwork automatically suggests an hourly rate for people when they're posting the job between 8 and 25 per hour. So if I see someone who's posting a job at $8 per hour, I'm not going to assume that's what they want to pay. I'm going to assume that they've just used the default settings. So I'm looking for a job that at minimum pays $8. That doesn't mean that's what I'm going to charge them. Doesn't mean that's what they're going to pay me, but that just means that they probably didn't know what to pay. At minimum, $8 an hour. In this case, they went up to $50 an hour. So I knew this was a client that would be able to afford my prices. This is really important to qualify them based on what's here, looking for something that has a little bit of personalization and applying to a job that's relatively recent. Now, let me walk you through what I wrote to them and why this worked. I was able to close a $3,300 deal because of these lines here below. First off, I always start with hi. The reason I always start with hi is because it's the shortest number of characters. It's less than hey, it's less than hello, it's less than my name is. It's just 2 letters. And I want to maximize that 225 characters to the point where I'll write and rewrite things to try to get them to fit into my little thumbnail. First of all, I'm going to just show them the job title. I am this person. This is a little bit of the desire, because in the desire, they're telling me they want a social media manager. And when I read this, I realized they really want someone who's more like a partner. So in this case, when I'm writing the 225, I wrote, hi, I'm a social media marketing partner with experience helping at least a dozen photographers grow and get more bookings via Instagram. That's my proof. I've got experience doing this. I also mentioned last year, my clients generated over 400 million views on Instagram alone. Again, more proof. So I started off with your desire is to have a social media marketing partner and to get more bookings on Instagram. I repeated that to them subtly in that first line. I'm going to stop moving this around. I feel like I'm taking you guys on a roller coaster here. Let me make this a little smaller. Then I follow that up with the proof. I've worked with a lot of photographers. I have got, for my clients, 400 million views on Instagram last year. And then I leave this little note to let them know that this is personalized. I saw you have 13 years of experience. That's really important because these people are getting hit with AI-generated job posts, copy and paste, whatever it is. I handwrite and personalize 100% of my 225 characters. This is all going to be personalized. And then I mentioned to them, I can help you capture your experience and translate that into social media success using the same systems and strategies that are working for my photography clients right now. That's the mechanism. That's the how. How do I know that I can get your results? Because I can help you use the same systems and strategies that are currently working for my existing clients. So we have the desire, which is, in this case, social media marketing partner. That's who they want to hire. They want to grow and get more bookings on Instagram. That's the desire again. The proof is I've helped at least a dozen photographers. My clients gained 400 million views. And then a little bit down here. And the mechanism is I can help you capture your experience and translate that to social media success using the systems and strategies. That's the how-to. I'm actually hinting a little bit as to how I'll be able to help them get results. It seems really simple, but I'll take 10, 15 minutes sometimes to write and rewrite these 225 characters. This is something that I hyperfixate on. I 100% personalize, and I try to respond to these jobs really, really quickly. So if you're trying to write proposals, winning proposals on Upwork that help you close high-ticket recurring clients, what you have to do is you have to focus under 225. You have to have the desire, the proof, the mechanism in there. You need to apply to jobs that were posted within the last 3 hours. And you need to handwrite, personalize all of your 225. No copy and paste, no AI, no nothing. And you also have to look and make sure you're applying to the right jobs. It doesn't make sense to write a really good proposal for a really bad job. So I spend a lot of time scrolling through jobs. Oftentimes I'll scroll through 100 or so jobs just to find the top 1% and apply to that one. I hope this video was helpful for you to understand a little bit to how I think about this. Send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is in the description below if you need help with this stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.